Have some music. Lights. Pseudoscience. Hunting the Misleading, featuring Dutchsince, Florida Maquis.
And it's just happened here with the new
Welcome
recent
back,
earthquake,
Dutch.
the 5.1 that struck in eastern Papua New Guinea. In my update
5.1,
last
yeah.
night, I mentioned this spot as a spot that was a silent zone.
Silent zone.
Zones don't matter to professionals.
Let's see what the probability of a 4 to 4.5 or 5 magnitude earthquake is over the past 30 days. Let's draw an area around the silent zone. And we'll use this region and we're going to have a look at the database. Let's find out what the survey said. The survey said, flipping hundreds of them. A drunk blind pig with a broken stick wearing a dress could have guessed there was going to be an earthquake there. An extremely high probability of M4 to 5. It's the not quite so silent zone. Oh, Dutch, come on. You can do better than that. Do some research, man. Come on. Pick any one. It doesn't take a skill to predict there's going to be an earthquake there, does it? Blimey. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear.
This
is terrible.
The storm. We have to go back a couple days when before the hurricane made landfall, South Carolina got a rare 2.6. So a 2.6 struck hours before the storm even came.
A storm-induced
earthquake.
earthquake.
Piezoelectric discharge, most likely, that happens between land and storm of a massive scale. There's a piezoelectric discharge, most likely, that happens between land and storm of a massive scale.
Piezoelectric discharge of a massive scale. Let's look for some evidence. Let's do a simple search because it'll chuck it up for sure. Because piezo crystals are tiny little things about as big as your Ningafail. Nothing there about anything big. Certainly not enough to light up the sky. You thinking about earthquake lights, boy? Let's have a look. I don't think they're a thing actually, but explained. 2014. Okay, it is a thing. Lightning, the lights can take on many different shapes, forms and colours. Must be feminine. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, wait, look, a picture of actual earthquake lights. Not so earth-shattering. Okay, they're formed, look at this, over the past few years, formed including the disruption of the Earth's magnetic field by tectonic stress, the so-called piezoelectric effect in which quartz-bearing rocks produces voltages when compressed in a certain way. I know the feeling. Well, Dutch, I've got to tip my cap to you because it looks like you're onto something. Let's see if there's that right kind of rock in that right kind of area. Although even if they are there, I think it's going to be difficult to find. Anyway, here's the rock types in North Carolina. Tertiary rocks. Look at that. Lots of different coloured rocks. That one is, it's a Triassic, but it's dike or a sill. It's still unspecified. Nothing really. Not worth worrying about. What else is there? Let's have a look. What's this one? Click. Metamorphosed granite. Metavolcanic granite. Proterozoic, you got some schist there, and metamorphosed gabbro. Those are the components you need
and we're talking like
to create your voltages. So hey, you're onto something.
And the United States is the taser, and the taser discharges
it's a little glowy light.
But in this case, it causes earthquakes. That's how much energy.
No, it's the earthquakes causes the lights, dummy. You freaking idiot! What the heck? No, little lights, not gigantic electrical discharges. Come on, Dutch, you can do better than that. Let's look at something else.
Real-time tremor map. See if there's anything reported on the real-time tremor map over the last 48 hours.
Yes, the tremor map.
There is. There's 2 to 3.
This is probably the most heavily researched bit of land in the entire world. The government and schools throw millions at it. Thousands of students research it every day.
Cluster here down by Victoria.
It's a well-known slow slip. It's
cluster here around
on a cycle, 10 to 14 months.
Oregon.
And you're looking at 24 flipping hours.
This is actually low.
You won't see anything in 24 hours. You've got to look at the entire 10 to 14 months, man, to see it.
In motion. The plate's
Don't you do any research?
It's actually
the researchless, Dutchless. Look at this. This is a paper. It's on the web. It's freely available to anybody and everybody. All you got to do is look for it. There you go. There you go. Slow slip. 10 to 14 months, there's your slip. There's your pressures, there's your times, there's also coloured lines. And in the discussion and conclusion, there's a nice little statement there that says, this implies that a one cycle of slow slip in a given plate segment, such as the well-known 10 to 14 month cycle in northern Cascadia. 10 to 14 months. Come on, Dutch.
Okay. So much love, and I appreciate your support.
Much love, Dutch. Welcome back. What else can we look at? Over the way here, we have got something else for you. Florida Maquis. I looked it up, and it's French resistance movement. He's been busy. He's got lots of videos. Absolutely lots. More material
I don't normally
than
drop
handle.
2 videos this fast, but I found something, and I think it's important, and it confirms someone else's work here on YouTube. I know, I'm familiar with Arecibo.
That line of dots is an aberration.
It is
it's
in
well known.
Puerto
It's
Rico.
well
It
documented.
is a massive telescope receiver.
It looks like you're using
that
your sister's
was built basically in a giant
pen
crater.
camera to take pictures of the
Now,
TV
here
screen.
are those
Get a
islands
capture card,
that
man.
we just saw
This is
on the
terrible.
Mimic
That's
map.
making my eyes go all
The
crispy.
one farthest out is this little island called Annobon.
Annobon. That's straightforward.
All right, and on
Portuguese
this
named
mountaintop,
it. New Year.
you would be looking
That's when
at
they
this
found
and
it,
you would
and
think,
they
well,
called
gosh, this is really
Bon.
not that big of a deal.
Annobon. Easy.
But what you're looking
And
at
it
is
is
a
no big deal. It's a
2006
tiny
map.
little island. Blink and you'll miss it.
Now, I'm going to show you something that is going to blow
Why
your
why
mind.
2006?
When you go forward in time here, I'm going to zoom in.
Yes, let's go forward in time.
This
Superman.
looks like,
Oh, what a horrible picture. That's
a
not
lake.
blowing my mind. It's giving me a
but when you
migraine, man.
zoom in real super close,
It is a lake.
you start to see what looks like
composite
these
pictures
strange,
laid on top of each other, digitally
I don't know,
formatted.
patterns of squares and rectangles.
Yeah, of course you have.
And
it's
it's
a
very,
composite,
very
and
weird.
It's an aberration
It's
again.
covered by clouds. And you think, well, it's probably just some effect of the imagery, but you
Florida
definitely see a difference
Maquis, don't
between
you do
how the
any
camera
research?
picks up the
No,
scrub
you don't.
bush
So I'm going
and
to skip
this
forward
here.
through your crappy
This
video.
looks like the beginning of a
What's
construction
this? What you got?
of a massive
It
transmitter.
looks like a aspirant to me, but hey,
and
there's no
given that
massive
this is the
transmitter
exact
there. Show
location
me some
that we're
evidence.
seeing those beams come out of,
Show me the
I
evidence,
don't think
lad.
this is any kind of a coincidence
No, the beams were a mosaic aberration.
that this
They weren't
massive
real.
change has occurred on this island.
God, let's have a look at the island properly. Let's do some research. Here is the island in all its glory. Lovely place. I wouldn't mind going there tomorrow. It's now got a harbour. Before this was built, they had to unload ships by boats, and it took days. Now they've got a decent harbour. They've got a pretty good runway there, which they can use most days. They've got a growing village. They've got an increasing population. The crater, the dew pond, is the source of their fresh water, and they actually supply ships with water. That's how much they gather from it. It's far too valuable a resource to put a transmitter site into. Don't you do any research? No, obviously you don't. You find something interesting on a broken map and say, oh, it's a conspiracy! God, blimey. The island's now got a great tourist trade instead of a slave trade. This is a water catchment trough, and look, it forms a pipe which goes down the hill and further down the hill, and the water then gets fed to some buildings where it gets distributed out. Just do some research, man. Go onto the web, have a look, see what's going on. Don't just blindly pull feathers out your ass, for Christ's sake. This is terrible. You shouldn't be allowed on the internet if you're going to put up rubbish like this, honestly. Anyhow, finally the island gets a financial investment. I don't care what they're building, but I know what it's not. It's not a transmitter site. I can absolutely, 100% definitely guarantee it. If you go to the wiki for the island, Annobon, province of Equatorial Guinea, it's got no secret transmitter site, that it has got a growing tourist population. It's got a huge lake called Lago Apot. And as you can see, it used to be a slave place. Florida Maquis, you should do some research before enabling another conspiracy theory. Oh man, just click on another button and get some real information, will you? I don't. Anyway, talk us out, will you? I've had enough of you. Come on, talk us out. An idiot.
My money, this is the source of where that, whatever that thing is, was built. Right here. And they drained the lake on the top of the mountain. to do it.
Come on, people, please thank Dutchsince and the Florida Maquis Please like, please subscribe, please share on social media. Give me a thumbs up. Drop some comments below. I'll answer all your comments, I promise you. Thanks a lot, guys. See you again. Bye-bye now.